Episode 1 opens with a picture of Ayanokoji and a 4-month deadline. Someone has been sent to get him expelled, not to beat him, not to outrank him, to remove him from the school entirely. And the person sent to do this doesn't even look like he wants to. 4 episodes later, Ayanokoji has a knife cut into his hand in the rain. He let it happen. He read the move in advance and let it happen anyway, because letting it happen was the message. That's the season in 2 moments. Someone trying to remove him, and him refusing quietly, completely, on his own terms. 6 episodes in, here is what I think is actually going on, and I think it's more interesting than just another season of Ayanokoji being the smartest person in the room. If you have been watching season 4 and want to share your read on where this is going, no novel spoilers please, but drop your fear in the comments. I want to know who you think is actually pulling the strings here. Before anything else, let me say the thing I keep coming back to with this show. I would not want to be a student at this school, not for one day. The private points, the class rankings, the partnership exam turning partnership into financial negotiation, the desert island exam being announced like it's a normal school trip, all of it is pressure from every direction simultaneously. Academic pressure, financial pressure, social pressure, survival pressure. Pick any two and surprise, you have to manage all 4. And yet I cannot stop watching it, because what COTE does better than almost any anime in this genre is show you a system that feels artificial and then slowly reveal that it isn't really that different from how things actually work. The school's rules weren't handed down from somewhere, they were made by people. Rules built by humans to control other humans, dressed up as meritocracy. And once you see that, the show stops being about a school. It becomes about something recognizable, using the system against the people the system was supposed to protect. You don't need to be a student here for that to feel familiar. What's the most brutal thing this system has done to a character that piqued your interest? Drop it in the comments. I want to see if we are all traumatized by the same moment. The partnership exam introduced 3 first years who immediately became the most interesting characters of the season. Not because they are louder than the second years, because they arrived with a plan that nobody fully understood yet. Hosen walks into a second year classroom in episode 1 and tells Horikita that Class D needs him, not the other way around. First years don't get expelled in this exam, second years do. The alliance he's proposing isn't for their benefit, it's leverage dressed up as generosity. Then he turns the partnership app into an auction, 500,000 private points as a contract condition, demands everyone acknowledge his control before he will negotiate anything. Only communicates by phone, never shows up in person, refuses to bend the structure he built even slightly. By episode 4, he has a knife out. By the end of that same episode, he's agreeing to equal terms while still demanding 5 million points. Confused, face-saving, both. Here is my read. Hosen is performing dominance he doesn't fully have. The phone-only communication, the point demands, the aggressive framing, when Kiyotaka showed up and let the knife cut his hand, demonstrating he already knew what Hosen was going to do. Hosen backed down immediately, because when someone that calm takes a blade they saw coming, the performance collapses. But here is the more interesting question. Is Hosen the actual threat, or is he the distraction? Because there is Nanase, polite, measured, always stopping Hosen from leaving negotiations at the wrong moment, pushing him to listen when he wants to walk away, confessing their real mission, the 20 million private point bounty on Ayanokoji, directly to him, and then, in a quiet library moment after Horikita has left the room, asking Ayanokoji, is he wicked? That's not curiosity, that's a read. And the reads like that don't come from someone who's just following Hosen's lead. I don't fully trust Nanase, and I think that's exactly what the show wants. For 3 seasons, the whole game was watching Ayanokoji be the smartest person in the room without anyone knowing it. The invisible genius, the guy hiding in Class D who makes things happen from the background while performing mediocrity. Episode 3, he tells Sakayanagi he's done hiding his ability. That's a massive statement for a character who spent 3 seasons being deliberately invisible, and episode 4 is where you actually see what it means. He shows up to a situation where Hosen has a knife. He doesn't negotiate. He doesn't talk him down. He lets the blade cut his hand because he read the move in advance and absorbing it was cleaner than avoiding it. The cut was the message, not the wound. Hosen understood that immediately. That's why he backed down. And I want to point out how the show frames that scene, because it's doing something deliberate. Watch the colors when the tension peaks. Cold palette, rain, muted environment, the same visual language COTE used in season 3 with Ryuen. When this show wants to tell you something genuinely serious is happening, not just dramatic, but serious, it shifts the temperature of the frame. Everything works in tandem. The visuals, the rain, the character positioning, it's craft worth noticing. Then episode 5 is the cost. The partnership exam results come out. His overperformance is impossible to hide because the app shows everyone's stats. The system that he used to move through invisibly is now the thing that exposed him. Not a mistake, not a miscalculation, just the transparency of the system doing what systems do, recording everything and making it legible to everyone at once. And then his own classmates interrogate him, Yukimura specifically, demanding explanations, suspecting foul play, and I want to be honest about what that actually is. It's not really about trust. Yukimura had an academic edge over Ayanokoji. He doesn't anymore. What he's performing as suspicion is jealousy dressed up as concern for the class. Meanwhile, Horikita, who actually understands what's happening, covers for him immediately. Tells the class she was the one who instructed him to hide his abilities. A well-timed lie that costs her nothing and saves him everything. The people who understand what he's doing are protecting him. The ones who don't are calling their jealousy concern. Then episode 6 happens. Every class tried to recruit him for the island exam. The shift from everyone being afraid of him to everyone wanting to use him as a weapon, that might be the most dangerous position he has ever been in. Being feared gives you distance. Being wanted makes you a piece on someone else's board. I came into this season thinking Ayanokoji was simply using K for convenience. He even said it himself at one point. Dating a beautiful woman and dating a smart man are both status plays. He didn't find it weird. He found it normal. And then episode 6 happens. He's willing to spend private points to prevent Kei from being expelled. He wants to keep her out of the crossfire while he deals with the White Room threat. He's not just maintaining a tool, he's protecting something. Honestly, I don't know what to think now. That's either genuine care or the most expensive tool maintenance in this show. And the thing is, everything else Ayanokoji does has a clear strategic logic underneath it. This one doesn't. Or the strategic logic and something that looks like actual feeling are so tangled together I can't separate them. It reminds me a bit of Aqua from Oshinoko. Someone so locked into their goal that the people around them exist at the periphery of it, until one of them doesn't, until one of them becomes the thing that complicates the whole plan. That ambiguity is the most human thing about him this season, and I think it's going to matter a lot once the island arc starts. Horikita Season 1 and Horikita Season 4 are almost different characters. Season 1, rigid, isolated, convinced individual merit was the only thing that mattered. She didn't want allies, she didn't want to manage people. She wanted to rise on her own terms in a system she understood imperfectly. Season 4, she's holding Class D together during a crisis, telling them to observe and wait when everyone wants to react. And when Ayanokoji's overperformance threatened to fracture the class, she covered for him with a well-timed lie before anyone could do the damage. That lie is the most impressive thing she's done this season. Not a grand strategy, not a confrontation, just reading the room, understanding what the class needed to hear, and saying it quickly, cleanly, at the right moment. I want to see her win something tangible before the season ends. The lie was reactive and right, but I want proactive. The island arc is where I'm hoping she gets to be that. The growth is real, it just needs to land somewhere visible. The Desert Island survival game is the biggest exam in school history. All 3 years competing together. 2 weeks. Actual physical survival stakes alongside class ranking. Gender ratio requirements built into group formation. Special cards, a 4-week recruitment window where every class is scrambling, and everyone wants Ayanokoji. Class B is making direct strategic moves. Koenji, who is basically never bothered by anything. approached him asking for a helping hand. And if even Koenji is making moves, the exam is genuinely serious. That's the show using him perfectly, not as a deep character, but as a precise instrument for signalizing stakes. The Sakayanagi and Ichinose scene is the best moment of episode 6. Sakayanagi tries to frame the alliance as being for Ichinose's benefit. Ichinose sees through it immediately, points out that Class A is actually the one at risk of being targeted by everyone else, forming coalitions against them. Sakayanagi pivots instantly, drops the manipulation, and offers private points. Ichinose accepts. Two intelligent characters reading each other in real time and adjusting. No drama, no delay. That's what the island arc is going to look like at the top level. And underneath it, the White Room thread is still running. The 4-month deadline is still ticking. Nanase is still asking questions that aren't neutral. 6 episodes in, nobody is showing their hand yet. And that's exactly the right place to be at the halfway point of the season. So where does COTE Season 4 actually stand? Ayanokoji stopped hiding, the system exposed him anyway, everyone who feared him now wants to use him, and the one person he's protecting, Kei, might be the only genuinely unstrategic thing he has done all season. The island arc is coming, and I think it's going to force answers to questions the first 6 episodes have been carefully avoiding. I've been covering this season episode by episode, so if you want the full picture, eventually I will create a playlist with more things and specific details, let's say, from the past 6 episodes and obviously the following ones too. I'll just try to simply cover all the details and things I found interesting, but I wanted to first release this sort of overview video where I cover like the main things that happened and my main thoughts. And now I'm genuinely curious. Do you think Ayanokoji actually cares about Kei? Or is this just the most expensive move on the board? Drop it in the comments, no wrong answers here, I just want to see where people land. If this kind of breakdown is what you're looking for, subscribing helps me keep making them. So for more COTE, leave a sub, see you next time.